Back in 2012 and earlier when they announced Mr. Pandaria Classic, everybody lost their collective fucking shit. Everybody hated Mr. Pandaria. How dare Blizzard ruin the gritty dark storytelling with fucking Kung Fu Panda? It didn't help that Kung Fu Panda came out the same time that Mr. Pandaria came out just before it did. So everybody thought it was a Kung Fu Panda ripoff, pandering to the Chinese player base. This wasn't what the player base wanted. Blizzard, how dare you? And now we look back at it, and I'm gonna be real. I kind of feel like the hatred was unjustified, and I'm gonna be real. I was one of those people. I went from Cataclysm to Mr. Pandaria, and I was like, nah, I'm skipping this shit. I am playing this shit. To be fair, at the same time, I also had other things I wanted to do, so I just didn't really care. Mr. Pandaria to me was like I'll skip this and come back. And I came back for WoD, and then, you know, that's a different story though. We look at Mr. Pandaria back in 2012, and we all hated it. Not everybody, mind you, but that's where the player base numbers declined the first serious way. But now, in today's day and age, in 2025, we're going back to Mr. Pandaria. That's right, 13 years since its release, and we're going back. We're going back to Pandaland to enjoy the pandas once again, and I'm gonna be real. We may not have asked for this, but it's honestly not the worst option we got given as far as an experience in a gameplay goes. Like, nobody back in 2019 was like, Pandaland? Nah, this is just classic, right? They're not doing that. You're joking, right? You think we're going to Pandaria? And now 6 years later, we're going to Pandaria. So, you know, everybody that was saying we're going back then, you were right. I don't think anybody expected that. So let's discuss Pandaria though, right? It's actually somewhat well received. A lot of people expected Mr. Pandaria Classic to be absolutely reviled, absolutely hated, despised, shit on. And it turns out that was just a very, very vocal minority. A lot of people actually seem to be having a good time. They're going into Pandaland, they're going into the game, into the experience, and they're having an actually good experience. They're not complaining, they're not whining, they're just like, I wouldn't have chosen this, but this is really fun. You know what? Kudos, Blizzard. And then Blizzard, on top of just making Pandaland, they shifted everything. They made a shit ton of changes. They made so many changes that Mr. Pandaria's final patch may as well be irrelevant because it's a brand new patch. They've shifted the entire meta and the way the game is played, the best classes, the best tank, to be fair, the best tank's probably still Blood DK, I'm gonna be real about it. Been the best tank for like what? Since Wrath of the Lich King, I think. Has Blood DK fallen off as best tank in a long time? I don't think it has. Vengeance Demon Hunter might have taken every now and then, but I'm pretty sure Blood DK is still #1 for most expansions and phases. Nonetheless, we have Pandaland and it's good. And that's weird for me to say because I was actually, you know what, I'm gonna be real, I was a vocal hater. I said, fuck this shit. I can't believe we're going to Pandaland, and now I've come around on it and I'm like, man, I was a hater for no reason. I should have given the game a shot. And don't get me wrong, in 2012, it did a lot of things bad, right? Like the introduction of dailies where you felt like you were forced to do it, the slow reputation grind for alts, it wasn't the smoothest thing, Siege of Orgrimmar lasted 13 months. It did bad things, right? I'm not gonna sit here and like wipe away every sin of original MoP. But MoP Classic is addressing a lot of that. MoP's at longest, MoP Classic is 18 months. At its longest, being realistic, it's probably gonna be 14 to 16 months based on the time length of previous expansions in the Classic cycle. But now that we're going into MoP, right, let's actually talk about the fact that why are people excited? Why are they looking forward to this? So first off, let's get the negative things out the way. Your only real option is Anniversary or Mr. Pandaria. Sarda's dead. They gave you a level 85 boost, go to Mr. Pandaria. They literally told you to fuck off to Mr. Pandaria. So your other option is Anniversary. That's it. You're playing Era and Anniversary, you're playing Mr. Pandaria as a Classic player. Or you're just taking a break from the game or trying out retail. So that kind of pushed a lot of people towards Mr. Pandaria, but a lot of the Cataclysm players were already excited for MoP. They were going to play it and enjoy it regardless. But on top of that, MoP is like the beginning of non-classic and the beginning of non-retail. MoP is this weird middle ground where it's neither retail with every quality of life known to mankind, right? A good sir, do you need me to wipe for you? That's retail. And it's not the same level of go fuck yourself as classic. It's this middle ground where you kind of have to work for shit, but there's a lot of quality of life to make acquiring that shit not so cancerous. On top of that, you have some of the best raids ever done, right? Like, sure, Siege of Orgrimmar lasted way too long. But if you ask a lot of people, it's in the top 5. Throne of Thunder, in a lot of people's top 5. It's one of the best raids they've ever done, right? And the other raid tiers are cool as well, but Throne of Thunder and Siege of Orgrimmar are incredibly well designed and well done raids. On top of that, you have that flex raiding, you got your 10 versus 20s, and you have mythic raiding coming in Siege of Orgrimmar. You have dailies, which give people something to do. I know dailies suck ass, right? A lot of WoW players don't play sandbox anymore, they play checklists. So they gotta check their checklist and get through the list of seeing what they want to do and what they should do, because that makes them feel good about themselves. I got my checklist accomplished, I'm good now, yada yada yada. On top of that, class design. For a lot of people, Mr. Pandaria, back in 2012 and now, had the best PvP, and for a lot of people, some of the best PvE ever done. Now, I should clarify about that PvP. Mop had amazing world PvP back in the day. I know I said I didn't really play it, but that's a lie. I played a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end of it, and the world PvP was phenomenal. It was top tier world PvP, right? I'm gonna be real, you're not getting shit for world PvP in classic Mr. Pandaria. You'd be lucky to find any world PvP. Every server that's PvP is 99% or 100% Order Alliance, not counting like 1 or 2 outliers like Grobulus. But for the most part, that world PvP is dead. You're not gonna find it. And if you do find it, it's gonna be very minimal and very mitigated. It's just not gonna be a thing that you really partake in a serious manner. In terms of PvE, amazing. Warlock, amazing. Hunter, amazing. A lot of other classes are amazing too. If you've played a Brewmaster tank, that shit's hella fun. If you've played a Resto monk, incredibly fun. Or Mistweaver, right? But like, I'm just calling every healer's Resto, fuck it. A lot of specs and a lot of classes just feel really good. It's not retail. It's not, you don't have 700 buttons to press. It's not classic where you have 1 button to press. You got like, most classes are between 3 and 7 buttons. You have like 4 or 5 extra utility buttons, but they're not buttons you press all the time in a raid environment. You're mostly pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe your Q, W, or your Q, E, R, like whatever your keybinds are. So the class balance feels good. But then I want to say something, and this might be controversial, but people did actually start asking for Mr. Pandaria. You know, when they started asking for it? During Cataclysm. As people got through Firelands, people were telling themselves, can we just go to Mop now? Because, you know, like Firelands is cool, Firelands is fun, but Dragon Soul and all that stuff, yeah, it's not the funnest. And the further the game went, the less fun people are having in Cataclysm. It's not to say Cataclysm was a bad game. People that played Cataclysm enjoyed Cataclysm. But for a lot of people, Mop is the better Cataclysm. We know about the Garrosh fight, we know about the storyline, we know about the arcs and the combat and the gameplay loop and the zones. You have things like the Timeless Isle, you have catch-up mechanics and systems, and all the tweaks and changes they've done. It's made Mop an expansion people are asking for now, especially after Cataclysm. But on top of that, right, if you think about it, this is kind of the precursor to the finality in the future of Classic. It's why a lot of people are looking forward to it. Because after Mr. Pandaria Classic, we're either going to Warlords of Draenor Classic, or we're going to retail. And either way, people are kind of curious the direction Classic goes. Are we actually going to go to retail WoW? Are we actually going to Warlords of Draenor? What is the future of Classic Mr. Pandaria? And a lot of people are excited because Warlords of Draenor may have been a dog shit expansion, but the content it had was actually phenomenal. What content it had? Most of the content didn't exist. It barely had content. That was the reason Warlords of Draenor sucked ass. But Legion's fun. So we're going from Mop to WoD to Legion? Are we then going to BFA? What is the future? It's got a lot of people curious and just excited about that potential, about where are we going? What are we doing? And I'm gonna be real, I'm really curious to find out as well. So despite a lot of people never asking for Mr. Pandaria, especially back in 2019, right? That's where we are right now. We are going into Mr. Pandaria and people are finally asking for it. People are finally excited for it. And you no longer get shit on incredibly hard on the forums or on Reddit or in game for saying, I like Mr. Pandaria. And you never should have in the first place. I kind of feel like WoW goes through these cycles of negativity and positivity. And you know, I'm a content creator. I contribute to that as well. I go through my negative phases. It is what it is. Mop is a good experience. And a lot of people will have fun. And I hope you try to as well, at least somewhat enjoy the experience. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you hated it, understandable. Dislike and subscribe. Be a dedicated hater. Don't half-ass hate on this channel. We don't do that. Thank you all for watching. Ebonhard out. Peace.